Live. There we go. That's the L right
there. It is.
We should observe the ancient ritual of traditional pre-fight donuts.
Yeah. Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Shut up!
Break, not hit back.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
You will all refer to me by the name Betty.
I know Kung Fu.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
I said I don't want trouble.
Only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Defeat does not exist in this dojo, does it? No,
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
All right, welcome to the Kickflix podcast. Oh, yeah. It's Netflix, but with a kick. Your favorite podcast where you come to listen and watch people talk and review your favorite, and I mean your fucking favorite martial art movies. I am Neri the Glow Signs.
You can't be the Glow.
Yeah, no,
I could be the Glow. I fucking want to be the Glow. What the fuck?
Fine. I'm
Fine.
Mike,
Fine,
the ultimate martial art form.
Fine. Mary show enough signs. Is that better? We good with that? Are we good with that?
You can be the Glow. Because I'm Mike the Glow Mercury.
I thought you were gonna say I'm Mike the Golden Glow. Fucking like just like keep popping it up. And then with me as usual is Mike Pizzeria Mercadal.
What?
There was a pizzeria in the movie, man. Leroy Pizza.
New York City. There's a pizza.
Of course there's a pizza.
It was part of the storyline, man.
Mike,
like,
the Fortune Cookie Factory Mercadal.
that's right. And we have Jeff fucking what else was there?
Heaven, Mercantini.
Jeff Movie Theater Mercantini.
Movie theater. What's up, guys?
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be a wild one, man. We're
It's
gonna be a
gonna
wild one
be-
today.
This might be a two-parter because I want to spend this whole first episode just on the movie theater and
Just
dissecting.
on the movie theater scene, we could dissect. We could go through that scene
I could do a
frame
dissertation on
by
it.
frame. And Jeff, what a thing of beauty. All right, man. Today we're talking about the last
Bye.
dragon. Awesome. We're talking about the last dragon, guys. For those of you who don't know, just look at your fucking viewing device, man. You got whatever you're viewing this on, whatever
Or
thing
listening.
you can see, it's the last dragon. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Not to be confused with Raya, the Last Dragon. Very different Google search.
Very different. Even though the anime, very interesting. The anime, Mike, aren't you the one that told me that? Like, if you look up any cartoon and then you just put, like,
Oh, the Rule 34?
was it rule? What was it that you said that it was like you just look up certain like fucking hey, what's it called?
What kind of pervert are you making me out to be, man?
Yeah, dude.
Literally, it's that. It's like that. You looked up Mrs.
Literally, you're
Mrs.
No,
Incredible?
yeah, it's Rule 34. It's an internet
Right.
thing that no matter
Yeah.
what you can think of, there's something pornographic existing about it on the internet. And if
Yeah.
you look up Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, Rule 34, there's got to be something.
All right.
Fine, I'll check.
Yeah, fine. You forced my hand.
Let's break it down. First of all, let's start off with the IMDb description. Michael,
right.
hit me with the Michael.
Yes. This
Hit me
is
with Michael. Are
Hit
you
me with the
drunk?
Michael. We're all drunk today. The Last Dragon, 1985, rated PG-13. In New York City, a young man searches for a master to obtain the final level of martial arts mastery known as the Glow. There's more to it than that. I feel like this is burying the lead a little bit, but it's not inaccurate.
Rule 34 does exist for Raya, by the way.
Ugh, gross.
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know a dragon could have boobs and a.
Well,
Yeah.
it is a female dragon in the movie.
Yeah, no, but human boobs. But anyway.
So weird.
So taglines. This movie has the longest tagline of any movie we've ever done.
Okay.
Okay.
He's a martial arts master who refuses to fight. He's a Bruce Lee fan who's so sure he's Oriental that he eats popcorn with chopsticks. His friends think he's too serious. His family thinks he's crazy. His enemies thinks he's no challenge, but she knows he's the last dragon.
What? Is that a tagline or the fucking
that's
the
under-
entire
Did you-
description
nah,
of the
you
back
read-
of the VHS?
Taglines. It's taglines. It's
You
on
read
under the very first
the
one.
Plot
tagline.
synopsis.
No, go to tagline.
No
Go to
way.
tagline.
Wow.
And then the other three are the last of his kind, the best of the best. I mean, he has an entire school, so I don't know. Need somebody to lend a foot? Meet Bruce Leroy Green. And the last one, a martial arts master so powerful, he hesitated to unleash that power until the day he couldn't hesitate any longer.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I feel like so many. I don't want to get ahead of everything. We have a routine as we get into the thing.
Parental
So-
guidance.
Parental guidance.
Parental guidance suggested.
Watch out
Here we
for these
go.
guys.
Let us read the parental guide, the parents' guide for The Last Dragon. It has some there's a lot, and some are so specific. I'm gonna have to put my fucking glasses on.
Oh.
No, because I took them off because I didn't want the glare to be all over the screen. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, yeah, it's kind of bad. Okay. This movie is rated PG-13 in the United States, which I feel is not 100% right. Sex and nudity. If you had to guess, what would it be?
Mild?
Mild.
Yeah. Oh, like I was like, wait, what boobs? Like what
No.
is it?
I will say at 30, someone put a fucking time code, 35 minutes and 57 seconds. Little brother makes comments about Leroy.
Oh,
the
yeah.
art of making love.
Mhm.
Gotta have the moves.
And the paintbrush.
The paintbrush. Yes, God, that scene. During the music video, drawings in the background with nude women with black cars blocking black bars blocking private parts. Pictures of naked women on nudie magazines with bars covering up lady parts.
Really?
Wow, man, these people put time codes and shit. The song Dirty Books is sexually suggestive. Get the fuck out of here. No way. Angie appears in lingerie during it. No sex, just kissing, blowing kisses, and talks of lovemaking. Brief female nudity scene with private parts obscured. Leroy and Laura watch Fist of Fury, and Bruce Lee passionately kisses a girl. Whoa,
Jesus.
that's Inception. Leroy is seen shirtless and sweaty a lot. That is correct. Laura suggestively tells Leroy he looks like a master to her. Also true.
Yeah,
okay.
she does.
Oh, and did they put the fact that she was curling her hair with her finger at that time? I mean, that was suggestive as hell.
The curling the hair. It's not written, but you can infer that that's what they meant. Violence and gore. What do you guys think?
Violence is probably going to
Severe.
be moderate or
Severe.
high.
Severe.
I don't
Mild.
think it'd be
Mild.
really.
Mostly kung fu violence. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Man feeds piranha-like fish a side of raw meat. When he pulls it out, it's picked clean, no blood or gore. Later, a man's head is dunked in the tank. He comes up unharmed. Man goes to punch another man, but the man grabs his fist and proceeds to crunch his fist. We hear bones cracking. He whimpers in pain. Okay. Man is put in a chokehold by Shonuf's goons. Correct. A lot of these are just factually accurate. Man kicked in the face. Okay. Got it.
Wait.
Jesus Christ.
Does it talk about the one where they're about to fight, and he's the guy's about to throw his second punch, and he goes, "Your mother." Does he talk about that one?
Yeah.
Profanity is the next category. We have to get there.
Your mother. Okay, all right.
While in the movie theater, Shonuf picks up a boy and then throws him. A man tries to subdue him, and his drag queen boyfriend cheers him on, played for laughs. I don't know why that needs to be specified. But Shonuf defeats him and pulls out a chunk of his hair. Huh?
Am I watching that woke? Because I didn't think it was played for laughs. Like there was nobody that even made fun of him for that. There was nobody, none of the goons made fun of him. Like no, like it was. I don't think it was
just
played for laughs.
incidental trans person. Like I don't
Watch
know.
the face, baby.
Yeah, there just happened to be a trans
Not the
person.
face,
Nobody even referenced, no character referenced a trans person there. Nobody made fun of the trans person for being trans. It was
Again, the
super
continuing theme.
woke.
I would like to know what the fuck these people review on, like, other reviews they've left.
Yeah.
Let's see. Some blood on Leroy and Shonuff during the final fight. Man is kicked in the chest. He flies and lands in tank full of water. Not known if he's dead or alive. Assumed he's just unconscious. What a hopeful one that is. Let's see. Okay, and then many fighting scenes, but they are very timid. Okay, that's pretty dumb. Profanity. Where were we at?
I think it'd be moderate.
Mild.
Really?
2 uses of racial slur. Slang term broad used twice. Get this broad away from me. Sucker is used about 4 times, and scum sucker is said once.
First of all, nobody said sucker. They said sucker.
Sucker. I know, but it says sucker in this comment.
I know. I'm just clarifying that for the listeners. Maybe they're like, "What sucker? I'm not gonna watch this movie." No. It's
sucker
like, oh.
with an A, no hard R.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think people realize sucker used to be a much more aggressive term. Like profanity used to be much more creative, I think.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think it used to be much more lame. Like in Hamilton, you know why? You know what? Little known factoid. You know what? Hamilton's son got challenged the dude that ended up killing him in a duel. You know what? You know, like, oh, he disrespected my father. The real thing is, he said, "Get out of here, you damn rascals." He said that to him and his friends, to Hamilton's son and his friends. And damned rascals was enough to be like, my good man, I challenge you to a duel where my life will fucking end because you said damned rascals. And I feel the same thing. Rocky, when you call somebody a bum in Rocky in 1970 something, it was a big fucking deal that you called him a
fucking bum.
Yeah, I'm a bum, and then now it's same thing. It's like sucker. It's like he called you a sucker. No, you're gonna stand for that? Yeah, it's fine. It's totally bullshit. It's timid as shit.
Well, that's the thing. Well, and we need to get. I was saving this one for the last because we have another receipt taker, another itemized list. About 4 uses of shit, 4 uses of punk, 2 uses of asshole, 3 uses of ass, 1 use of gay, of goddamn, 1 use of bitch, 1 use of bullshit, mofo is said twice, motherfucker is said once, holy shit is used twice, 1 use of son of a bitch, and chump.
Okay.
So we literally like bingo. Yes, that's me.
Bingo, bango.
Alcohol, drugs, and smoking mild. There are 3 Asians that own a Chinese fortune cookie manufacturer. They smoke cigarettes and drink liquor. They also gamble, i.e. play dice. Same guys are seen dancing to a song that mentions sake, which is a Japanese liquor.
It's also, by the way, not just cigarettes. They literally said we're gonna smoke pot. He said we're gonna smoke pot and drink wine.
Yes. So, he did.
So that was a sick weed.
Sick of weed. Frightening and intense scenes. Shonuff is very intimidating. He antagonizes Leroy a lot. Him and his goons destroy his family's shop. That did suck. That did hurt my feelings a little bit. He's got oh wait, no, I'm reading a different thing. His parents plead with him to stop. Leroy cries and is later shown distraught and angry over it. That is very intense and frightening. Leroy is shot and Laura and Richie cry at the thought that he's dead. Spoiler alert.
He's not dead though.
There's more stuff, but it gets super granular. Like
this is the longest segment that we've ever had. For this one movie.
There's so many.
There's so many. That goes to show you the popularity of this film, Michael.
I've never once said that this movie is not popular.
For a fucking good reason, man.
It is a cult classic. It was listed as because apparently it made money, but it was a cult classic.
Right, it made money after the fact.
Oh, hey, there's that guy, Ty Mack.
Yeah, that was that. I met him at the convention. I had my. You can't really see it in the picture, but I had my Shogun of Harlem shirt. and he had the glow playing on loop on a speaker.
Wow, that guy knows his brand.
Yeah. Tightest jean shorts I've ever seen in my life worn. Also, just pointing that out. Yeah, it was pretty weird. But 60 seconds.
Does
60
he speak like that
No.
in real life?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Michael,
Absolutely not.
square up.
He has no qualms about
Square
who
up.
he is.
All right, let's square up. This movie is hard to watch. Now, I could not. I have a feeling, again, this would fall under the category of movie that would be fun to watch with us, like as a group. In fact, when I was Googling my shit, because I could have sworn that we had talked about this before, because this was an original old school pick from way back in the day, because I know we talked about it. And then it's also, I saw on What's Up, Bro, that you did a Mystery Woobro Theater for this.
Yes.
And so there is that's what this movie is for, like to watch it with a group of people and be like, what the fuck is going on? Because it is genuinely insane. Like, it feels crazy to watch this movie now and just be like, yep, those are the choices they made. And because I have there's a great episode of How Did This Get Made about this movie that is permeated my brains watching it. I cannot think about everything that hasn't already been said in that podcast. So I'm going to focus on it as a martial arts movie. As a martial arts movie, it's all over the place. There's Chinese, there's Japanese, there's all kinds of stuff. The Goju, whatever they call it. It's just a mishmash, like, of the Far East in Best of the Best. And it was genuinely like the fight scenes. Some of them were very creative. You could tell that Tai Mok knows some moves for movie kung fu, and that was about it. Like, Shonuff was fine, but none of the fights were really good. It was just a lot of like pushing and shoving and bullying, and then someone doing a cool flourish, and then you stand right there while I go wah, and that's it. So as a martial arts movie, as a Kickflix movie, it was hard to watch.
Jeff, square up.
Thanks for making me feel like a part of the show.
I love this movie. I've loved this movie. Here's the thing. It's very hard for me with this movie to differentiate from like, okay, look at it from a perspective of, I've never seen this movie before. What's the quality of it? Is it a good movie? It's rough, like Mike says, but I fucking love this movie. I've seen this movie easily 30 to 35 times. Like, easily. I adore this movie. As the fact that I met Tai Mok and I paid money to get a photo with him and an autograph, which I have somewhere up there. A lot of the stuff, I don't think they could do it today because I feel like Barry Gordy.
Of course not.
Yeah. Barry Gordy was like, let's do this movie, but reverse it. Like, all the black folks are gonna think that the main black guy is going to think he's Asian, and the Asian guys, we're going to make them think like they're soul brothers, like that guy was saying, like they kept saying the whole time, my soul brothers, what's going on? But like, it was kind of all over the place, but I loved it. And I can appreciate the martial arts cheesiness because the movie's meant to be cheesy. Like, I think it is. I think Barry Gordy knew that it wasn't going to be a game of death, but he was trying to do his version of a Bruce Lee movie. But I mean, I enjoy this movie. Like, I don't get tired of watching this movie.
Then don't listen to the How Did This Get Made episode about it.
Oh, I'm sure. I know all the How Did This Get Made. Like, they don't like any of the movies.
No, there's some that they enjoy, but this one was genuinely crazy. Like, the episode, like, because it was a live episode and Hannibal Buress was there, but it's in my head. It was in my head watching the whole time. So I understand that I went in with a bias,
right?
Completely.
Well,
and I've
so
seen
did
this
I.
before.
It's a different bias.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah. Miri hated it, obviously.
I love this movie. I think the movie's good. I don't give any credence to anybody saying, "Oh, this movie is it good?" No, the movie's good. I like the movie. I watched it today as I was like, all right, let's take notes or whatever. I thought the movie was good. Was it super 80s? Yeah, it was super 80s, but doesn't mean it's not good. I legitimately like this movie. I've said 1,010,000 times, unironically. I don't like it because it's cool and cheesy and it's fun and it's like, I don't like it the way people like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't like it. I like it like I think it's a really good movie. Like I watch this movie often, multiple times a year. It's fucking great. I've already watched it. This is the second time I watched it this year. The first time wasn't for this podcast. So it was great. Like I legitimately like this movie a lot. So that's my square up.
It's two separate things that to say something is good. We've talked about this before, that something is good versus I enjoy it.
Right.
So
I'm saying both of those things are true.
Your opinion is that this is good.
Yes.
Right. So, but that doesn't make it good.
I mean, that's an opinion on
Exactly,
everything,
right.
Every level. So it doesn't mean anything.
You
Somebody's
watch it unironic. You enjoy it unironically.
Correct. Somebody
me.
watching this movie and saying it's not good doesn't mean that it's not good.
Exactly.
Right. So, right. It's fine. I enjoy this movie a lot. Enjoy for everything. I enjoy the music breaks. The barge.
The barge.
No,
I will say this though, it has a really horrible villain in Eddie Arcadian. Yeah. Because like if you rewatching it, I'm like, wait, so he wants to kill this guy kill this girl and then kill his vanity and look at the bars right there, beautiful. That should be Mount Rushmore because because he wouldn't play this girl's music video.
Yeah,
for Dirty Block.
It's what we talked about. What we talked about last week about narcissism. You have that. Yeah. I'm not used to being told no. I'm a man of power. He was gonna let her eat out of cart, bro. He was gonna let her order out of cart, bro. And he was told no emphatically, and he's not used to that. And then add the element of a man, add an element of a woman telling him no. It's unheard of for him. So he just went off the fucking rails. It's oddly enough, I think of him as a second villain because Shonuff to me is always the first villain, and to me, I want a Shonuff movie. I want a movie of like Shonuff. That would be amazing to me.
I would love an
Can we just talk about William H. Macy for a second?
And Chaz Pimentary. He was the limo driver.
And I love that Rock was the guy from Harlem Nights that leaves his wife. Hey, put your mother on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never coming back. I'm never coming home. Yeah. I love that it's like yeah.
They have solid people in this cast.
The whole time I was watching this movie again. I was like blown away. I'd forgotten, like, there's parts that you like block out. He walks around fucking Harlem with a big rice patty hat and wearing the Chinese thing, but with a big fucking hat. Right.
Yeah.
Shonuff is walking around wearing like customized
football shoulder pads.
What I like to call his gang kamikaze chic.
What?
I like to call his gang kamikaze pilot chic.
They are they were in the fucking flight. Okay.
Oh shit.
It's literally like we're about to like bomb Pearl Harbor style if like Mugatu from the Zoolander movie did it. It is right. Like it looks. It's like we're doing a Japanese influence so hot right now. Like. But I would love an unflinchingly real take on watching these two guys walk around New York City like that, because there are people who like around this time especially that would believe in the martial art. Right. They were like living that life. Like this motherfucker, he wasn't like raised in China. He wasn't raised in anything. His parents own a pizza shop in fucking Harlem, and he is genuinely a crazy person. Bruce Leroy, full on autistic fixation, like full on craziness. Like he's insane.
Make him crazy. That doesn't make him crazy.
I just like
he speaks with the accent on purpose. Like he didn't learn it from anyone.
And his master works out of a houseboat.
And his master speaks like English. He does not say.
I know. His master's like, oh, you're watching too many movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, what's this for? It's for other masters would use it to hold their belt up. He's like, you're way too into this shit. Like, I had to give you something because you were annoying. Like, that's literally what the guy was telling him.
It's genuinely like he's probably not even a master. He's just like, this guy showed up in my houseboat and I
shot arrows at him.
Money.
I shot arrows at him because I thought he was gonna fucking rob me. I didn't know he was gonna actually.
You know that they actually did that. It took them 2 hours to film that scene of him chopping the arrow out of the air. Like they actually did that for real. Like they didn't set it up like camera work. Like they were like, no, we're just gonna shoot arrows at you. Hit one, and catch one.
And cut. Okay, Timac. We're just gonna do some edits, and he's like, no. I'm going to catch it.
I will just imagine Timac with 3 arrows in his arm. He's like, I'll get the next one.
I got this. I got
the next one.
We'll fix it in post, Timac. No, I'm fine.
But these are crazy people.
You know the funny thing is, what they fixed in post wasn't him chopping the arrow. What they fixed in post was they edited the fucking blood from the arm that's oozing out of his fucking.
It looks like like all the blood on the floor. It looks like in a video game when you can clearly see the hidden path is there.
Yeah,
because they painted over it. It's like, it's like what is all that? We had to cover up all the blood from the 2 hours of mistakes.
It's just a rug, the giant rug, dragon rug. But you know what? I did love that though about his sensei. That his sensei was like, listen, it's like all that's movie bullshit. Like I just taught you how to fight. Like even though the glow thing is obviously ridiculous, but like he was like, I taught you how to fight. Like you're over exaggerating all this other shit. That's not the real thing. Like chill out.
Speak English right, you idiot.
Yeah,
you're born in New York City.
How many times have I told you accent? Yeah, he's like, how many times have I told you to stop with the accent? It's pissing me off.
Yeah. This is borderline racist. This is borderline racist.
Yeah, this is
borderline.
This movie was racist in new and unique ways. I was talking to a coworker of mine today because I had to work today, and I genuinely was like, hey, you were here in New York when this movie came out, and she's a little older than me, so she was like, yeah, I was like a little kid. What did how crazy Warriors, right?
Yeah.
And this movie, and anytime you hear about a gang in like the 70s or 80s, they all did they all draw themes from a hat? Like, we're the Shoguns, we're the Japanese guys, we're the in Warriors, we're the roller skate guys,
right? Or the baseball.
We're the baseball player guys. Were the gangs that goddamn specific that you that they were because this is what Show Enough is, a gang leader. It's just a gang, it's any other gang. That's a believable thing to me.
Well, I like the idea of that. Even in the original game, if you watch the movie Gangs in New York, which by the way is actually based on real events.
Yeah,
I've actually done a deep dive on Gangs in New York, and there was a gang called the Dead Rabbits.
Yeah,
is that any less silly that they would bring dead rabbits to their calling card? Is that any less silly than a fucking baseball team gang? Really?
No,
where
I'm not calling it silly because it's
I'm saying it's silly. I'm saying it's ridiculous. I'm just saying it's what you're saying is it that specific? And I'm thinking, well, if you bring a dead rabbit everywhere you go because you're in a dead rabbit gang, it's kind of like that line from whatchamacallit, where it's just because your name is Lady Heroin don't mean you gotta sell it.
Here's my question too. When they're argue that, so they get to the theater, which we can take a deep dive into the theater now if we want to talk about it. But they go to the theater, and the assumption is that Shonuff and all these people obviously know who Leroy Green is, or who and he's he's the only thing between Shonuff and pure supremacy. But he's just sitting there watching the movie with chopsticks, eating popcorn. He's not trying to get supremacy. He's not stopping Shonuff.
I will not tolerate anyone pretending to be more Asian than I am.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna. He's not fighting Shonuff. Shonuff literally picks the fight with him. And because
he's a bad guy.
Granted,
he's a villain.
Just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
I think the more bad guy in that whole scene was the large Native American man who stomped out the breakdancers who were giving an amazing performance in the middle of the aisle during the movie. When they just started breakdancing.
This is a question you could ask your friend, right? Mike.
Yes.
in that era of like, because there was a lot of like breaking and breaking too. There was all these like breakdancing movies. There was all these dancing movies. Like, was that a thing in the 80s in New York City where the people just broke out and danced in the middle of the movie theater?
Shit, I gotta, man. One day we have to have my friend Elvis on. Dr. Rand. This guy, he was a comedian. He was trying to be, doing comedy on stuff, but he was a break dancer in the like 90s.
Oh, what?
In New York, in Queens. The guy is the most New York Queens person. He's the dopest dude. He's super chill. He's a real nice guy, but he is as New York as it gets. And when I moved into the neighborhood I live in now, which is arguably not like, man, it's way out deep in Queens. He I met him at like the corner, not the bodega, but there's like a fucking cafe, a fucking diner in the corner, and he was like, oh yeah, he wants to do comedy too. And I met this guy, and he tells the fucking craziest stories about being a building super in New York City, about growing up in like the hood in like deep Queens in the 80s and 90s.
That's awesome.
It is. I would like, it's almost like changed the way I like that part. To me was the most believable part of the movie. Like,
let me
now
tell you
living
something.
Up here,
One time
like,
there were these white guys that would dress like Native Americans and they were heading to Coney Island. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, to the point where now I'm like, it's not that I don't believe they picked a theme, like, because someone was like, I really wish I could. I aspire to be like Nate. I'm a 1/8 Cherokee. Oh, hey, like, they're like, look at those guys.
That's it. Right
there. I really love walking around with my baseball bat. Hope I don't get sucked into a life of crap. Like,
here we go.
So
let me ask you.
It's all believable, and I totally believe that in an era where you did not have anywhere to, like the movies were a hang. Like you didn't have like
this is before the malls. You got to remember, people didn't even realize like this is,
and there aren't malls in New York either.
Yeah, right. So this was I don't know. But I don't know, man. This movie is the story. It's like do you have a Soul Train aspect to it?
Oh my God, Seventh Heaven, bro.
Seventh Heaven.
I wish that existed still. That was amazing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could find a retro nostalgia club that does shit like that.
No, but I want it on TV. Like, I want like a television.
I do miss
like
Soul Train. Soul Train was
Soul Train
later on. Like, you gain an appreciation for Soul Train as you get older. Watching those old videos, like it would come on after Saturday morning cartoons, and you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
But that's when you knew the day was over. You're like, all right, well, my day's over.
So let me ask you, Mike, because you mentioned a couple times about, and which I agree with you 100% of how like culturally inappropriate this movie is. So what was your guys' favorite culturally inappropriate moment in this movie? Because this
was a masterclass in cultural appropriation. Like, it was
mine was when the Cyndi Lauper wannabe went into the thing and his like second in command at the dojo goes, can I interest you in something, a medium-sized Oriental? And she's like, no thanks, I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What?
I remember thinking, I actually looked that guy up. I'm like, is this guy Oriental? Nope. Nope.
Was he a Latino squinting?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Big Trouble in Little China? Wow.
Mm-hmm. But not only was he squinting, he literally called himself an Oriental. He like literally said, can I interest you in an Oriental? And I was like,
and a medium-sized Oriental.
Medium-sized Oriental, right. And that was a good one. My favorite was when he said the tagline to his restaurant, move your feet
to Laura Green's Pizza.
Laura Green's Pizza. And I was like, yep, that's how Italians talk. That's how all Italians beepity boppity move your feet to the pizza. Like, yep, that's it. That was it.
Were the three Asian guys that were
those guys were my favorite.
Yeah,
that was like a multi-layered stereotypical presentation.
And
like,
just them
there
going
was so much in that.
Like them three talking to him, where he's trying to pretend to be black and they're pretending to be Asian.
Yes.
There's so much going on there.
It's meta, no? It's fucking meta. Barry Gordon's like, yeah, deep. This is deep
shit right here.
All right, we've talked about this on a previous Kickflix movie. What do you think the cocaine budget was on this movie?
Oh my God.
I think it was a BYOC, right? Like, you got to bring your own coke for this.
Well,
think
well
gotta
according
be
to Time Mock, Vanity took care of that. Like, apparently, Vanity was heavy into the coke at this time. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
heroin,
don't think it was just
No,
for
of
him.
course,
Everybody,
no.
no.
She was
None of those videos actually happened. Those were all in her head. The music.
she was Prince's backup, right? Backup singer. Backup.
They were like a
and she
thing.
was with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, no, I know they
too.
were a thing, but she also was a performer though. Like
And
that
in movies.
Yeah,
Purple Rain and all that.
yeah. Vanity was man. She was so dope. Jesus, she was.
I mean, she was a beautiful woman. An
Stunning.
actor would be much harder to pin that on her. She was terrible.
Yeah.
She is so
No
bad.
way, dude. No way. Out of the fucking last 3 movies we've seen, you're really gonna talk about bad act like this? I mean, after the last 3 movies we've seen in a row, bad acting is not in a fucking. And I don't think
I would have to tend to agree with Mike that Vanity's perform. I love it, but it wasn't like
She was very like the writing in this movie is it's tough to like, because you know that they wrote all of that sexy stuff and shit for her to say, like when she's trying to woo
I was
Leroy,
rude.
Oh yeah,
and she's playing like Bruce Lee movies for him in the thing.
Get yourself a chick that in the 1980s will do a fucking editing job for you.
Fuck yeah, bro.
That takes
Yeah.
that was pre VHS. There was no projector. Like that was a fucking cinema reel they had to get to.
I want to know what time she had that with all the kidnapping that happened to her.
Yes,
Like,
how was she at the turnaround time?
I think she got us. I think she used her staff. I think she used her connections. She's like, hey, I need you to edit a video for me. Put this song and then put some Bruce Lee movies. That's it.
Was that okay? By staff, do you mean the manager who at the end said, "Where have you been? You're late to work," after she was kidnapped, and there was a gunfight at the studio, or the hairdresser that was more concerned with her hair as opposed to the gunfire?
Well, yeah. I mean,
which of those staff members were the ones?
You clearly already made it. You survived the gunfight, but this hair, brutal.
Which that's one thing I loved about the 80s-ness of this movie was that whole scene of them like recruiting the baddies, like interviewing the bad guys. That was such an 80s move to me. And then like that fight where you have the cornucopia of just crazy ridiculous. You had like Mohawk Santa, and then you had like the other big guys that like ate the nunchucks.
That was like their version of "you son of a bitch, I'm in." Like,
yeah, basically.
We're gonna have a recruitment open call. Like, where do you even post that? Do you go to like backstage and be like, "We need real tough guys"?
Yeah, you call up Central Casting. It's like, hey, we need some bad guys.
Yeah.
What
kind? All of them.
All
no, and it's like, are they okay with saying culturally offensive shit? Because like that scene when they go to the dojo, that they're like circling him and they're telling him, Taimak, who is not of Asian descent, Asian stereotypical statements. Like they started doing like the "hasa" and all this stuff to him while they were like egging him on to fight. Like they were yelling Asian stereotypes to him, a gentleman who is not Asian.
Right.
I forgot about like, because I was remembering this movie I was watching when they reveal that his parents are just like Harlem people, like Harlem black people, and then it's like, what? Like it struck me. I was like, oh, I thought there was some more like explanation as to why he was the way he was.
For all we know, Mike, he was born there and then brought over. Like we don't know. We don't know.
He was brought over on the houseboat.
There's a bit. It was a long trip. That's how he learned.
That's how he got to that level.
There was a bit. I can't remember what it was. That there has to have been some white guy in Hong Kong who was raised entirely in China and speaks nothing but Chinese. And then when he comes to America to speak English, he speaks with a Chinese accent.
Yeah.
And then there's like a dude. There's like a news clip of a guy who is like a white dude raised in China who's like just the embodiment of that joke. This is like the reverse of that, where someone like, I just when they revealed him, there was no magical reason for him to be
at all. And then how did he afford the dojo? because he had a dojo. He was going and
I mean,
teaching.
he had a basement. He had a basement. Like,
well, because he was over there learning from the sensei, and then he has his own dojo with his own leaders, followers, including Ernie Reyes Jr., who this was his movie debut.
Yeah.
With his and he fought his dad at the end there. That was him fighting his dad.
Same year as Red Sonja.
This came out the same year as Red Sonja.
Well, he filmed those two movies back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that last fight scene was cool. Like everybody got their moment. Like there was one part that it bugged the shit out of me was when the sidekick to Eddie Arcadian was gonna shoot him. He's like, "Oh, I'll just pop him right now." He goes, "No, you're gonna ruin all the hard work that I've done." And wait,
that's the Dr. Evil. That's the Dr. Evil thing where he's like, "Well, no, I'll get a gun in my room. I have a gun in my room. We'll just shoot him right now. Bam, it'll be a lot of fun." And he's like, "No." No, we're gonna walk away. We're gonna do an over elaborate plan, and we're gonna walk away. What's the big deal? I don't get it.
This movie, man, and they were calling him a coolie, which is like a derogatory term for either Asian mixed race person from when the enslaved people in the Caribbean, there were a lot of Chinese.
Why'd you put that in air quotes, Mike? You said enslaved people in air quotes. You said enslaved.
Did I do quotes on enslaved people? I meant coolie. Is like a term for enslaved people. Yes, there were. I'm not saying that hypothetically.
What slaves, whatever. Like, wow.
No, enslaved people. There was a lot of Asian, and that was that's I guess a derogatory term. And I had to ask my coworker. I was like, "Hey, this is a purely research situation. What?" And what is like? Because she's from Trinidad. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, that's like for anybody who's Asian, like Asian Caribbean, Asian blood,
they call
mixed, yeah, whatever." And then also like South Asian. There was a lot of like South Asian workers. So when they kept calling him coolie, I was like, "But he's just an American black guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even
but
that."
They don't know that, Mike. They don't know that. They assume because he eats fucking popcorn with chopsticks. They assume,
which predates the Oscar Isaac meme.
Yeah,
of him
of
eating
the
chips with Cheetos with chopsticks. This was the time to do that.
I'm just happy that Ty Mok had one of those gis for all occasions, because he switched it eventually to the white gi, and then at the end he had that gi mixed with like Aladdin, the Broadway show after he becomes Prince Ali, outfit when he has the flowers at the very end.
Oh,
they show like they hide his face, and then he's like, "Hey. Oh, did you think it was somebody else? No, it's me. I got the flowers."
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I love the actor that played Shonuff, and I know him also from Briscoe County Jr. He was Lord in Briscoe County Jr.
Oh yeah.
But there was other people that tried out for the role.
Okay.
Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Ron O'Neal, Billy D. Williams, and Carl Weathers were all considered for the role of Shonuff.
Carl Weathers feels like the best choice.
Billy D. You said
Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Carl, and mind you, remember it's
not for
80s,
Shonuff. Billy D. wouldn't have been good for Shonuff.
Why?
I don't think he would. I don't think he would have been.
You're just thinking about Lando Calrissian.
I am.
Yeah, he's picturing him going.
He's literally like Lando wouldn't be good. Like he already had a cape.
Who's the baddest mother?
Yeah, who's the master, baby?
Yeah, it's like Shonuff. Like that. Like it would have been a totally different feel.
Yeah, if you played it like Lando.
Yeah,
played it like Lando.
No, Billy D. Williams equals
Billy D.
Lando
Williams
Calrissian.
only act one way. He could only act one way. And who else
Who's
was
Ron O'Neal? I know Fred Williamson was Shaft. No,
Fred Williamson? He was. Is he Shaft? No, I don't think Fred Williamson was Shaft.
I like the idea of Jim Brown. And I could only assume that Jim Brown didn't get the part because he was actually hitting motherfuckers.
He was in Superfly. Ron O'Neal was in Superfly.
That's right. I could just picture Jim Brown doing the audition and actually hitting,
like
punching people, and like, "Yeah, motherfucker, stay down." And they're like, "Whoa,
yo,
down a notch," and they're like, "That's the way I do it." And they're like, "Cool, we'll call you.
Yeah, Fred Williamson. That's not Shaft. if you look him up, like he did a movie that I can't say the name of, but he
yeah.
did like Black Caesar and stuff like that.
What was he? Oh, he was in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
But I
amongst a million other things.
Yeah,
it's just,
who else read for the part of Leroy? You got that information? Anybody else? Or
the only other person, Lawrence Fishburne, was considered for the role. A young Lawrence Fishburne.
Whoa, that the
Cowboy Curtis,
the cowboy from fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
he would just be like in one. So take the red pill, and show enough will. No.
Apparently, there was an issue with the casting, which is why they decided to go outside of Hollywood, because this was obviously Taimak's like debut as. But apparently, according to Taimak in an interview, he said that they left the last decision on who he would play opposite of him, who would play Laura, to him, and he was like, they interviewed a ton of people, and and they were like, who do you like, who do you don't like, and he's like, ultimately I was like, I think Vanity's the best choice, and that's how they picked her.
Yeah.
And I'm sad because
I think I could bang Vanity.
I think I got a shot.
I think I got a shot with Vanity.
That princess girl,
or at least I want a shot. I want a shot with Vanity. So therefore, I'm gonna
take her for some chopstick popcorn. And seal the deal.
I have a couple other people. Mario Van Peebles was considered for the role of Leroy Green.
Super young.
Wesley Snipes auditioned and lobbied hard for the role of Leroy Green.
I couldn't see Wesley Snipes doing that.
Fuck yeah, dude! He actually knows martial arts. Fuck yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, but Shonoff didn't know martial arts.
Yeah, but then you would only have to call him Leroy. He wouldn't answer to the name Wesley.
I wonder if like
wait, he auditioned for Shonoff or Leroy? Leroy.
No, Leroy.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is because the actor that played Shonoff had no martial arts experience whatsoever. So you get somebody.
He didn't fight anybody. He
yeah.
There was no martial arts in this movie except for
he bit an ankle. He bit an ankle.
Yes, that is a Wu-Tang Shaolin ancient technique.
No, he's a shogun. He's Japanese.
Oh, that's true. He's a shogun.
It's got to be a different thing if we want to pay more attention to it than this movie did. This is clearly like Berry Gordy having enough money.
He had a love affair. I just think this is his homage, his love affair with all like the Asian movies that he grew up watching. And he at that time was watching all the Bruce Lee movies, and he was like, I want to make a black fucking Bruce Lee movie. And that's
100%. This was also, but this is Berry Gordy. So this is a
Motown
soundtrack wrapped around a movie. Like,
which is what I told my wife. My wife was like, she came in through two different scenes, walked in, and she was like, is this all one long music video? I was like, so there's a Soul Train esque.
No, it is.
Wait, I said there's a Soul Train aspect to it where there's like she's a host of a Soul Train like show. Also, the director and producer of the movie is Berry Gordy, so he had to be like, insert my artist here. Like there had to be that lead, you know what I mean, that entryway for music for his musicians.
Well, the soundtrack to this movie is phenomenal. Like if you look up the groups that were in it,
the Barge, bro, the Barge. That's all I gotta tell you, man. We gotta fucking. I mean,
the Temptations are on the soundtrack. Like, there's like, I'm serious. Yeah,
no, I understand. Okay. The songs that people because if you watched last week, we had whenever the undisputed one where it was like we need super literal songs describing exactly what's happening. Right. This movie has a bunch of those.
Yeah.
And they're just like straight up like he's a black guy who fights kung fu and he's the cool guy who speaks really weird. Like
and when he gets the glow that it was like, I don't need to teach you anymore.
Yeah,
like, I don't know teach you no more.
It is 100% like Berry Gordy just had a ton of money and was like, I want all my people, I want all this stuff. And that's why like probably like if even this was also kind of an era where like, do you remember Rockwell why he's in the soundtrack and he's like, why do I feel like somebody's watch? The one part of that song that people know is Michael Jackson singing. Because Berry Gordy was like, Michael Jackson, you have to sing on my son's song. Rockwell is Berry Gordy's kid. So when you hear some of these like lyrics and vocals and stuff like that, it's like, this is like bad, but It's like, yeah, because it's his kid and he had to give his kid a little boost.
Right.
But what I don't understand is the Vanity can sing better than some of the songs that she does in the movie.
Yeah.
But she sings
Seventh
like,
Heaven slaps though.
but there's a bunch of songs that, but she sings them poorly. It sounds like almost on purpose. Like that's the style at the time, was to just
because she's not singing as Vanity. She's not singing as Vanity. She's singing
as Laura.
As Laura, yeah, that's a thing.
Is her acting that good? That I can't fit? Maybe it is.
There's a thing called acting, and she's like
killing it. Look it up, Mike. It's called acting.
Yeah.
Acting.
She apparently she fooled me.
Mike is like Billy D. Williams can only act like Lando and Vanity must sing like Vanity in every fucking movie. Like,
I will challenge. Find me a Billy D. Williams performance that is not Lando-esque. And then we can figure it out.
I don't know any other Billy D. roles. I gotta be honest with you. I'm the wrong guy.
Like he did something else.
Yeah, I know he played himself in an episode of Modern Family, but he was just playing himself. And in that episode, he kept referencing fucking Lando Calrissian. So I'm like, that's a bad example. Like, that's not the right example. You know, in that episode, he kept referencing Star Wars. So I you know.
Well, that's kind of what he does now. He goes to conventions and he is Lando. You know.
Yeah, I got to meet him too. He's super nice.
Did he pass away?
Super cool. No, he hasn't passed away. By the way, Harvey Dent wasn't really Lando, I guess.
Oh yeah, I guess he was Harvey Dent, but he's still kind of like
yeah, he still was suave.
He hits on Vicky Vale.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I'm with you.
You know, he's like, you know who also hit on Vicky Vale? Lando. Like that's what Mike is always just like. He's super Lando the whole time.
Like when Donald Glover played him in Solo, I was like, this isn't Lando.
Yeah.
Where's Lando? This is when Lando's young. Well, then show me young Lando. Get Billy D. Williams in here and DH.
What are the Rotten Tomato scores?
Oh, actually, it's very interesting. The Rotten Tomato scores 59% by critics with 22 reviews. That's the only amount of credit. 86% by audience with over 10,000 reviews.
56%?
59% for critics, 86% for audience.
And 89% of Google users like this. Wait, I'll press my thumbs up. 90% of Google users like this.
It is a 6.8 on IMDb too. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a beloved movie, but not for the quality of the movie. It's because of what it means. And I will say this. I was talking to my friend today, and this is something that's come up a couple times with like the emergence of
this movie has Oscar winners, man.
Not for this movie though. I mean, good Lord. The what I was gonna say is that like this has come up a couple times with some of my friends up here who are black doing comedy, or they're like the emergence of the black nerd, like that you're allowed to like everything now and all that stuff. And then I was talking to my friend today at work. She was like, well, one of the things that she would hear from her brother and from other people, and this is something my friends would say also, is that that they think subconsciously the reason why at the time Asian like kung fu movies and Asian culture and all that stuff really hit with the black community in the same way that like anime did later and like all that stuff, because it was non-white. And they didn't want to see that another thing with a bunch of fucking white people. And I was like, fuck, I never really thought about it, but it makes sense. Like my friend, my coworker, she loves Korean dramas. She loves these soap operas.
Watches all that shit.
The fucking Korean drama. And she's like, and I was like, why do I? She's like, because it's different. And I'm like, that totally makes sense. So all of this makes cultural sense. Like, why would you want to regurgitate something of the oppressor, and subconsciously it kind of all clicks. And I was like, we got to go through our reviews. We're running against the clock now. Mike, what do you give this? What's your I give it 2 fortune cookie factories, 2 bullshit fortune cookie factories out of 5. It's not good, but that's not why you watch it anyway. Watch it with friends.
Right. Jeff?
I'm gonna give it a 4. It's either gonna be unnecessary piranha fish or 4 breakdancing techniques to get out of ropes out of 5 because I think it's a fun movie. I agree that it may be trying to take itself seriously, but it doesn't. But I don't think it fails in still giving you a fun movie to watch.
I like the fact that you said all of that to say it failed correctly. It failed
correctly. It's true.
That's not a bad way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. I will give this 5 out of 5 bullet caught with the teeth.
The fuck?
5 out of 5 bullets caught in mouth. It's a perfect movie. It's
a perfect movie.
Perfect movie. No, there's no other movie that we're gonna review on Kickflix that's gonna be perfect.
This is our last episode, guys.
Yeah,
what won the Oscar
Oscar
in 1985 for Best Picture? Because it should have been this movie.
Yeah, it should have been this movie. And that's it. I don't give a fuck. Let's go and do our wheel while Mike looks up what won the Academy Award in 1985.
Yes.
We are going to do the wheel to see what movie we're going to watch next. For those of you who are fans of the show, you know that we picked the movie by a wheel.
Fuck Amadeus.
Oh, no, wait.
That was the movie. It was Amadeus.
Was it Amadeus?
Yeah.
That movie did suck. I don't give a fuck. That movie sucked. So we're gonna go to email us at kickflixpod@gmail.com. That's kickflixpod@gmail.com. Let's go. Let's see what we're gonna watch next. Yeah, man.
Kumite.
Two fucking 5-star movies in a row, son. Bloodsport. I'm so fucking excited. I want to do this episode today, man. Fucking Bloodsport. I was gonna say it's gonna be hard finding another movie that I've watched more than The Last Dragon. Nope. The wheel was like, I got you, Sin. Say no more. Say less, fam. All right, so we're gonna watch Bloodsport, the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic.
Can we do an Amadeus bonus episode?
Please. You know what that movie was missing?
What are the other movies that were runner up? Like
Amadeus, The Killing Fields, which is super fucked up. A Passage to India, Places in the Heart, and A Soldier's Story. None of which I remember.
I'd rather watch fucking Last Dragon more than any one of those movies. I don't give a shit. Say what you will. Mm-hmm. Name me another movie that you would want. Like, really, you would want to watch The Passing Fields more than Last Dragon?
No. The Killing Fields is fucked up. It's about never mind. Yeah. But the Amadeus is great. I love Amadeus.
I'm just pissed off because they were supposed to do 2 sequels to this. There was an original contract, and Barry Gordy like screwed Taimak over, like because they originally offered him a certain amount of money, and then he was like, you know what, you're not worth that much money. Like his president of his company told him, you're not worth that much amount of money. So we're going to give you $60,000 to do 1 movie and $40,000 to do part 3. And that's all you're going to get. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm out.
In all fairness, this movie did bomb. So
yeah, well,
they ended up making like 25 million. They made 25 million.
They should have just gone with somebody else. Like, just get another actor. Who gives a fuck? Go with Wesley Snipes. Who gives a shit?
Pass the glow to somebody else.
Yeah, man. And then you could just say that, like, Leroy was my brother, or like my cousin, or who the fuck cares? Move on. All right. Thank you for checking us out. Check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bone Network that include, but not limited to, the Better Let Me Tell You podcast, the What's Up Bro podcast with Mike and I, and Steph Mayer Sr., Cramocopia with Jeff and Q, and Chow Like a Best with Mike Valdez. Sort of go to geekbro.net, check out the other podcast. We love you, appreciate you, thank you very much. And that's how fucking more short movies I watch, bro.